This video is on how to clean the Sig Sauer P220. This is not a complete disassembly video. We're only going to break it down as far as you need to go for basic maintenance and cleaning. To get started, you'll need a few things: cleaning patches, a nylon brush specific for gun cleaning, a 45 caliber size bronze bore brush, a 45 caliber brass jag, a cleaning rod with a handle that allows the rod to spin freely, cotton swabs with an angled tip to get in between the harder to reach areas, microfiber gun cleaning rags, CLP, gun oil, a 45 caliber bore snake. And this isn't necessary for cleaning, but I thought I'd mention it because it has to do with gun maintenance. And that's desiccant packs or some type of dehumidifier. If you have a large safe, keep a couple of large desiccant packs in there, maybe one on the top shelf and one at the bottom of the safe. And if you don't, just put one or two of these smaller packs inside the gun case. This is just to eliminate any chance of moisture getting inside your firearm if you're storing it long term. Last but not least, some nitrile gloves. You can use latex, but nitrile is known for being more resistant to chemicals. And I'll leave links to all these items in the video description below as well as in the comments. As of the recording of this video, the cheapest place to get these items is going to be on Amazon, but if that changes in the future, I'll make sure to update these links. Always start out with a clear and safe weapon, meaning no ammunition, but of course I'm going to double check. Locate the magazine release button, press it to drop the magazine, keep your finger off the trigger and keep it pointed in a safe direction. Work the slide a few times. It should be empty, but just in case somehow you made a mistake, ammunition will eject at this point. Locate the slide stop lever. Push up on the slide stop lever as you're pulling the slide back to its rearmost position. When you let the slide go, the slide stop lever is going to lock in place. While the slide is locked back, visually and physically inspect the chamber to make sure there's no brass inside. Once you've done this, you know you're 100% clear and safe. Now locate the takedown lever. Rotate it down to the 6 o'clock position. Now press the slide stop down, and you can guide the slide off of the frame. Compress the recoil spring assembly from chamber end to muzzle end and pull it out. Now to remove the barrel, just press on the chamber, grab it by the lug, and remove it from the slide. And this is as far as you need to go for a basic field strip. You have the frame, the recoil spring assembly, the barrel, the slide, and the magazine. You don't have to clean these parts in any particular order. Today I'm going to start with the barrel. Add CLP to the nylon brush and start scrubbing all surfaces. I'm going to pay special attention to the feed ram to make sure ammunition feeds smoothly into the chamber. Attach the bore brush to the cleaning rod. Add CLP. I'm only going to push this bore brush through in one direction, from chamber end to muzzle end, because it doesn't make any sense at all to push the dirt out and pull it right back in. It's kind of like sweeping the floor. You don't just sweep back and forth because you'll just spread dust everywhere. You sweep in one general direction, into a dustpan or out the door. I push the bore brush through, I remove it from the cleaning rod, I pull the rod back out, put the brush back on, and repeat the process. So I'm pushing the rod through it using the handle. I'm not hanging onto the rod itself. I want the bore bristles to be able to spin freely within the rifling to get a better clean. There's no specific number of times you need to push the bore brush through. It really depends on how much you've been shooting. In this case, I'm just going to push it through a few times and move on. Now attach the jag to the cleaning rod. Add CLP to a cleaning patch. Wrap it around the jag. And push it through the bore in one direction, from chamber end to muzzle end. You'll see that the first patch comes out really dirty. Just keep pushing clean patches through until they start to come out clean. Okay, I took a few patches, but this one is pretty much clean, so I'm going to move on. Make sure you're using the correct size bore snake. It should say 45 on the brass weight. Drop the weight through the chamber, pull it out the muzzle end, You only need to do this 1 or 2 times to get amazing results with a bore snake. And this is exactly why I use a bore snake every time. It looks like black glass inside. There's not even a speck of lint or dust. The rifling looks perfect. It looks way better than it ever did from the factory. It's kind of hard to show on camera, but this bore is incredibly clean. I'm just going to add a couple drops of gun oil and smooth it out with a cotton swab. I just want to leave a light protective coating on the entire surface. Not the bore, that can be dry, just the surface. You can get away with just using CLP, which stands for cleaner, lubricant, and protectant, but I prefer to use a dedicated lubricant on some of these parts, especially on some of my more expensive firearms. Now wipe off any excess CLP or gun oil. It just doesn't need to be oversaturated with CLP or oil. I just want to leave a light protective coating on it. Let's get started on the frame. Add CLP to the nylon brush and start scrubbing all surfaces inside and out, and pay particular attention to the rails. You want to make sure those are really clean so that the slide can move back and forth freely and smoothly. Yes, I do use CLP to clean the grip, but I'm not going to leave any residual CLP on the grip. I'm going to make sure it's completely dry before I'm done. An easy way to remove the CLP from the grip is just wrap the rag around it and squeeze. Now that I've loosened up all the dirt with a nylon brush, I'm going to add CLP to a clean cotton swab and go through it in fine detail. The first few cotton swabs are going to come out dirty. Just continue running cotton swabs until they start to come out clean. You can wrap the rag around the nylon brush to get inside the magazine well. I'm just going to go easy on the top area where there's more intricate parts. Now wipe off any excess CLP. Now add gun oil to a clean cotton swab. Add a medium coat of lube to the rails and a light coat of lube to anything that shows signs of metal on metal wear. Okay, there's no excess CLP or gun oil leaking off anywhere. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's get started on the slide. Add CLP to the nylon brush and start scrubbing. I'm going to use a smaller end of the nylon brush to get in between the rear sight. Before you start cleaning the inside, make sure you don't leak CLP or oil down into the breech face. That little hole is where the firing pin comes out of. If you think that may happen, just clean the slide with the muzzle facing downward. And be sure to use the small end of the nylon brush to clean behind the extractor. That's the little hook-shaped piece right here. Now add CLP to a clean cotton swab and go through it in fine detail. Now add gun oil to a clean cotton swab. Add a medium coat of lube to the rails and anything else that shows signs of metal on metal wear. If you're not sure what I mean by signs of metal on metal wear, here's an example. It's okay to leave a light coat of CLP or gun oil all over the outside of this slide. I'm just going to leave just enough for a protective coating. I'm only wiping off the excess. Now let's clean the recoil spring. This part's easy, it just takes a minute. Add CLP to the nylon brush and scrub in between the coils. You can remove the guide rod if you want to clean it separately, but this one's not that dirty. I'm just going to leave it in. Now wipe off the excess CLP and you're done with this part. You don't need to disassemble the magazine every time you clean it unless you dropped it in mud, dirt, or sand or something like that. When you're cleaning this, just make sure you don't leak CLP down into the follower or through these witness holes. If you do need to take this magazine apart, it's pretty easy. You don't need a video to show you how to do it. Just press that button right there. The base plate will slide off. The spring and follower will come out. Clean everything with CLP, wipe it dry, and put it together the same way you took it apart. There's really nothing to it. In this case, this magazine just needs a basic clean and wipe down. Just add a little CLP to the brush, go really light, and just scrub it down and wipe it off. You don't need to leave any residual CLP or oil, just clean it well and wipe it completely dry. Time to reassemble. Grab the barrel, insert it back into the slide. It should look just like this. The closed end of this recoil assembly is going to go flat against this lug right here. So insert the open end of the recoil spring assembly, muzzle in first, compress it, and rest it against that lug. And it should look just like this. Just make sure it's perfectly centered. If it's not, you're going to have trouble putting the slide back onto the frame. That looks good right there. Line up the rails on the slide with the rails on the frame. Start pulling the slide back onto the frame. Push up on the slide stop until it locks into that notch in the slide. Now move the takedown lever back to its original position. Just pull the slide stop lever back down to release the slide. Let's do a function check. Pull the trigger, but don't let it go. Keep holding it. Work the slide. Now release the trigger. You should hear it reset. Now pull the trigger again. If the hammer drops, you're good. Now let's make sure it locks back on an empty magazine. So insert an empty magazine. Now pull the slide back and it should lock back on its own without using the slide stop lever. If it does, you're good. Congratulations, you're done. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to my channel and visit skullcrush.com. Clean your gun after every use, regardless of round count, and about once every 6 to 12 months, depending on your environment. Let me know in the comments if there's another cleaning video you'd like to see. Take care.